Warning, your internal narrator is biologically sabotaging your focus. You're not losing focus because you're lazy. You're losing it because your brain's internal narrator won't stop talking. That voice lives in the default mode network, and when it's loud, your attention gets hijacked and your energy leaks. Most people try more willpower. Pros learn to quiet the narrator on cue. In this video, I'll show you the fast flip into the task-positive network, your brain's doer mode, so you can actually get into flow. There's a 10-second breath and touch switch that engages your Salience Network, especially the right Fronto-Insular Cortex, RFIC, the biological toggle between DMN and TPN, and it works before email, writing, or calls. Stay with me because one common productivity habit secretly makes the narrator louder. We'll fix that. The 10-second neural switch. Here's the quick win first. Do one cycle, inhale through your nose for about 4 seconds. Then do a 6-second sigh-style exhale, one long exhale, maybe with a little top-up sigh to empty. While you exhale, press thumb and index finger together, tactile anchor. Then say out loud or in your head the next tiny subtask, like open doc and title it. That's it. Stack 2 or 3 cycles. Why this works? Longer exhales pull the vagal brake, calm arousal, and shift into rumination. The Salience Network, especially the right Fronto-Insular Cortex RFIC, detects that internal change and helps switch attention toward the task-positive network. Use this before you start, after a distraction, or when you feel that narrator ramping up. Why your brain defaults to the narrator. So why does the narrator grab the wheel the second you sit down to work? The short version, it's doing its job. The default mode network builds your self-story, runs mental time travel, rehearses social moves, and stitches memory into meaning. It's great for planning and perspective, but it's bad for focus when you need to execute right now. The thing most people miss is that your doer mode, the task-positive network, and the narrator mode are anti-correlated. When one rises, the other drops. That seesaw shows up again and again in brain scans. In the 1990s, resting state correlations were first mapped, Burritt-Biswell's work, and in the 2000s, Marcus Raichel's team formalized the default mode network. Studies across the 2000s confirmed these networks fluctuate in opposite directions, and it wasn't just a data artifact. When you try to write an email and also narrate your self-worth, gears grind. This clicked for me when I watched someone stare at a blank page for 20 minutes. They weren't confused about the task. They were trapped in the rumination loop. Uncertainty sparks prediction, prediction sparks anxiety, anxiety feeds more narration, and around you go. Meanwhile, the task-positive network never gets enough stable signal to take over. Result: no action, tons of mental churn. And there's a cost. Overthinking is not free. The narrator burns glucose, spikes cortisol, and drains your attention budget. That's why you feel wiped after doing nothing. Decision fatigue piles up, sleep gets sketchy because the loop doesn't fully shut down, and you wake up with the same mental tabs open. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Rumination feels like control but bleeds control. Now here's where most people mess up. They try harder. They add pressure, self-talk, and vague declarations like focus now. Ironically, that amplifies default mode network monitoring, meta talk about your state, and the narrator gets louder. You've probably felt that. The more you force it, the more you watch yourself not start. Willpower becomes fuel for the wrong network. So what's the better move? You work with the brain's switching system, not against it. There's a foreman between the narrator and the doer, the Salience Network. Its job is to notice what matters, inside your body and out, and route resources. A key node here is the right Fronto-Insular Cortex, RFIC. When your body signals calm and clear next step, that foreman toggles toward the task-positive network. When the signal is threat, vagueness, or social evaluation, it leaves you in default mode network to keep simulating. The reason the 10-second switch you did earlier works is that it stacks 3 levers at once. Longer exhale pulls the vagal brake and reduces background noise. The tactile pinch boosts interoception, the feel of your body in the moment, so the foreman has a crisp internal cue. And the micro-intent, naming a tiny, concrete verb, gives a clear external cue. Together, those cues tell the Salience Network. It's safe and specific, send in the doer. Let me show you exactly how this plays out with a real example. You've got to draft a pitch. Narrator kicks off. What if it's bad? What's the right angle? What will they think? That's default mode network doing risk math. You run 2 breath cycles, feel the thumb index press and say, "Open notes and write 3 bullets." Your eyes land on the notes icon, you click, you type 3 ugly bullets, and boom, look at that result. The task-positive network grabs the thread because you fed it sensation and a bite-sized verb. Now you might be thinking, sure, but isn't the default mode network also useful? Yes, it's the draft room. It's where you compose the story, imagine options, and learn from the past. The task-positive network is the factory floor. You need both, just not at the same time. Mixing them mid-block is like holding a team meeting in the middle of the assembly line. That anti-correlation exists for a reason, to keep you from crosstalk that ruins performance. Another piece you should know, vagueness is gasoline for the narrator. The less defined your next move, the more your brain fills the gap with simulation. That's why clear next actions, visible objects in your field, and hands-on tools help. Eyes on the file, fingers on keys, breath steady. Sensation beats narration. You're giving the Salience Network a stack of reasons to flip the switch and keep it flipped. Common mistakes to avoid today. 1. Starting with inbox or feeds. Novelty pings the Salience Network but doesn't give a stable target, so you bounce and the narrator comments on the bouncing. 2. Just 5 minutes of planning with no output. That often turns into default mode network expansion. If you plan, cap it and end with a single visible unit of work. 3. Self-judgment. Shame is a social threat signal. It pushes the toggle back toward the narrator to keep you safe. Quick win you can try right after this. Pick one task that scares you a bit. Do 3 slow inhale-exhale cycles with the thumb index anchor. Say 1 micro intent like, open doc and write a bad title. Then do only that. Stop. Notice how your mind noise drops the second your hands move. That's the doer network gaining dominance. Once you feel it, it gets easier to call it up on command. Before we continue, you need to understand one more thing. Stability matters more than intensity. You don't need fireworks. You need repeatable on ramps that your Salience network recognizes. Stack the same cues, keep tasks concrete, and avoid sending mixed signals. Once you nail that, everything else clicks. What the switch really is. DMN versus TPN in plain English. Alright, let's make this simple. You've got 2 crews in your head. The narrator crew, default mode network, handles stories, what-ifs, past and future social predictions. The doer crew, task-positive network, handles attention, working memory, decisions, hands-on task. Both are useful, just not at the same time. They run like a seesaw. When one's up, the other drops. That anti-correlation is well documented in the 2000s literature and keeps your system efficient, so you don't mash planning and execution into one noisy mess. Think of the narrator as the draft room. It's where you lay out options, pick an angle, and connect dots from memory. Think of the doer as the factory floor. It's where you ship units, write the paragraph, run the query, refactor the function. Mixing them mid-block jams the gears. That's why let me rethink the whole plan, while you're halfway through a sentence feels like slamming the brakes and the gas at the same time. Now, who decides which crew is on shift? The Salience Network. It's like the floor manager that watches for what matters and routes resources. A key node there, the right Fronto-Insular Cortex, RFIC, monitors your internal signals and the scene in front of you, then flips the allocation. Calm body plus clear next action, it sends power to the doer. Vague goal plus threat cues or social evaluation, it keeps you with the narrator to simulate. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Sensation beats narration. Your eyes locked on a single object, your hands engaged with a tool, and your breath rate steady. The combo lowers background chatter and gives the Salience Network crisp evidence. You're not telling your brain to focus, you're showing it. The narrator quiets because there's nothing left to narrate about. There's just the cursor, the keys, and the next visible unit. Triggers matter. Novelty, real stakes, and a clear next action tend to pull you into the doer. Vague goals, fuzzy scope, and undefined finish lines favor the narrator, so you want to engineer your entry. I use what I call the anchor trio: micro-intent, micro-scope, micro-sensation. Micro-intent is the verb, outline 3 bullets. Micro-scope is the fence, only this section. Micro-sensation is the body cue, thumb index press plus that longer exhale. Stack those and that floor manager gets the message, safe and specific. Switch. Actually, let me back up and explain this better with a picture. Imagine 2 light dimmers on the wall. One's the narrator, one is the doer. You can't crank both to max without blowing the circuit, so your system keeps them inversely linked. The Salience Network is your hand on the dimmer. Every time you feed it concrete sensory input tied to a tiny, unambiguous verb, it smoothly turns down the narrator and lifts the doer. If you instead feed it uncertainty, what should this be? The hand hesitates and the narrator stays bright. The reason this works is basic physics of attention. Attention is a bottleneck. Focused tasks need tight gating. What's in, what's out? The doer crew closes that gate. The narrator crew opens it wide to let ideas and memories float through. When you try to keep it half open, you get leaks. Intrusive self-talk, rechecking, second-guessing. This matches the anti-correlated DMN, TPN pattern repeatedly observed since the 2000s. So you make a clean call. Gate closed now. Gate opens later. Draft room, meeting after the factory shift ends. Now here's where most people mess up. They think the switch is about hyping themselves up. More coffee, louder playlist, motivational bark. That spikes arousal, which the Salience Network can read as threat. Threat equals protect equals more narration. Instead, you want calm clarity. Longer exhale, tactile anchor, eyes on the target, one tiny verb. Low drama, high signal. Common mistake number 2, changing targets every few minutes. Novelty feels like engagement, but it actually yanks the dimmer back and forth. The narrator jumps in to narrate the switching. Maybe this is better, and your doer never builds momentum. So pick one visible unit, finish it, then change. If you remember nothing else, remember these 3 levers. Micro-intent tells your brain what to do, microscope tells it how small, micro-sensation tells it now. That's the practical face of the switch. You don't need to love the task. You just need to show your brain the next inch and give it a body cue that says, we're safe. One more thing that helps, externalizing the draft room. We park a note at the end of a session. Tomorrow, fix intro, keep hook, cut lines 7 to 10. You give your narrator a safe container. It can relax because it knows the meeting is scheduled. Then when you show up, you read that note, run the breath and touch, and the doer takes over faster. Cycle time shrinks. That's what pros train: fast, clean switches on command. The 3 levers for focus: autonomy, competence, safety. So now let's build the system that keeps the Salience Network flipping the right way all day. 3 levers run this: autonomy, competence, and safety. When they're dialed, the narrator chills and the doer takes the wheel. When they're off, the narrator smells threat and ramps up simulation. Let's wire each one in with simple scripts and guardrails you can use today. Autonomy first. The thing most people miss is that "I have to" is a threat cue. It sounds small, but your brain reads it as loss of control, which keeps the default mode network active to negotiate, justify, and monitor. You flip that by choosing on purpose. Use this exact line: I choose to because, say it before each block. I choose to draft the outline because it lands the client. It's not toxic positivity, it's a precision tweak. The Salience Network hears self-directed instead of punishment. You'll feel your body unclench a bit, right? That's the point. Lowers background noise, clears space for the task-positive network. Make it practical. Write 3 versions that fit your work and pin them near your desk. I choose to start X because it unlocks Y. I choose to do a bad first pass because speed beats polish. I choose to finish one visible unit because done creates momentum. And use a permission line for days you're dragging. I get to stop after 1 unit. That guards choice while still moving. Now competence. The narrator hates ego risk. Big, fuzzy tasks feel like cliffs, so it narrates to protect you from falling. Shrink the cliff. Your rule is minimum viable momentum, MVM. Define the smallest unit that counts as progress. 1 paragraph, 1 slide, 5 lines of code, 1 figure sketch, 1 outreach email draft, not send. The doer loves clear, tiny targets because they're safe to act on. Here's a dead simple setup. Convert tasks to verbs plus objects. Draft 3 bullets for intro. Fence the scope, only section 1. Cap the time, 2 minutes to earn my first unit. You'll notice once you do the first unit, the gate stays closed and the second unit is easier. If it isn't, you still won. Log the unit and bail. That keeps your identity tied to starts and completions, not heroic hours. A quick story because this clicks in real life. Last week, a coaching client had finished white paper on their list for 11 days. We changed it to open doc, paste outline scaffold, write 2 ugly bullets. 3 minutes later, they'd written 8 bullets. The difference was 0 willpower and full competence signal. No cliff, just steps. Safety is the third lever, and it's sneaky. Your Salience Network toggles away from the doer the second it reads threat, and threat can be social, cognitive, or bodily. So we set safe starts. Pre-commit conditions your body recognizes as okay, predictable length, no judgment, and exit ramps. Here's a safe start template. Length, 10 to 15 minutes, timer visible. Privacy, no sharing, no commenting, no sending. Criteria, bad first pass allowed, literally write that at the top. Exit, after 1 unit, you can stop or continue by choice. You're basically telling your nervous system, we're not walking into a firing squad, we're just touching the water. That lowers narrate to protect impulses. Add a couple of body-level safety cues. Sit where your feet are flat and supported. Shoulders down, longer exhale once or twice. That posture plus breath combo is a clean signal. Then run the thumb index press and micro intent you learned earlier. Stack the same cues every time so your switch gets faster, your brain learns, oh, these signals mean the doer shift. Let me show you exactly how to deploy all three at once. You're about to start a scary report. Step 1, Autonomy, say, I choose to start this report because it clears tomorrow. Step 2, Competence, set MVM as open doc, write 1 bad headline and 2 bullets. Step 3, Safety, 10-minute timer, flight mode on, write bad first pass at the top, no sending. Then run 2 breath cycles with the tactile anchor and say the micro intent out loud. Eyes on the file icon, click, type the headline, type 2 bullets. That's it. If you want to stop, stop. You'll usually keep going, but the key is you earned momentum without a cortisol spike. Common mistakes here. Overscoping, finish chapter, invites the narrator to protect your ego. Fix, shrink to 1 visible unit. Fuzzy goals, work on research, are just DMN bait. Fix, verb and object. Shame framing, finally do this, you slacker, is pure social threat. Fix, neutral phrasing, competence wins, and mixing inbox with output kills safety. External evaluation mid-block slams you back to the draft room. Fix, protect no ping zones. Templates you can copy right now. Choice script, I choose to verb plus object because benefit. MVM library on a sticky. Para, slide, 5 lines, sketch, bullet trio. Safe block card near your monitor. 10-15, bad first pass, no send, timer. Quick win before the next section. Pick 1 hard task. Write, I choose to because, name your first MVM. Set a 10-minute safe block. Run 2 breath and touch cycles. Do only the unit. Log it. That's autonomy, competence, and safety working together to help the Salience Network flip the switch and keep it stable. Once you feel how light that first move can be, you'll trust the system more than the narrator. And that's the whole game. Dopamine drain resets, midday and emergency. So even with a good start, by late morning you hit that flat meh feeling. Tabs multiply, you scroll without meaning, and your brain feels like cotton. That's not you failing. That's a dopamine dip plus mental fatigue. When dopamine is low, the narrator gets loud to fill the void. We don't argue with that state, we change it. Here are 3 fast resets that flip the Salience Network without feeding the narrator. Reset A is 5 minutes. Think eyes, air, cold. Step outside if you can, or go to a bright window. Put your eyes on natural light, far distance if possible, for 60 to 90 seconds. Let your gaze go wide, not tunnel. Then breathe through your nose, easy, for about a minute. Finish with a quick cold splash on your face, cold water, not heroic ice bath. Why this works? Distant viewing plus bright light helps wake up alert circuits downstream of the Salience Network, nasal breaths reduce mouth breath arousal noise, and that cold splash gives a crisp interoceptive jolt. The right Fronto-Insular Cortex, RFIC, reads these signals and helps route you back to the task-positive network. It's not a mood cure, it's a state change. Do this between blocks, not mid-task, to protect momentum. Reset B is 2 minutes, and it's for when you're stuck in your chair. Stand and do the 30-30-30. 30 seconds of slow nasal breathing while you lock your eyes on a far object, across the room or out a window. Then 30 seconds of a casual walk, hallway, kitchen, balcony, keeping your eyes soft and your shoulders down. Then 30 seconds of stillness, eyes on a single target, 1 longer exhale. If you've got 30 more seconds, repeat the walk or the breath, your pick. The point is to break the micro-bounce loop. Quiet the narrator with sensory anchors, and give the Salience Network a clean, we're safe, we're specific, cue. You'll feel the mental fog thin just enough to grab the next verb. Reset C is your emergency break, 90 seconds anywhere. Do 2 physiological sighs, inhale through the nose, then a tiny top-up sniff, then a long, slow mouth exhale. Repeat once. Now run a quick tactile scan, thumb to index, middle, ring, pinky, press and notice the texture for a beat on each. Then speak a micro-intent out loud. Open file and write one bad line. That combo is sneaky powerful. The double inhale clears stale air and drops physiological arousal. The finger press wakes interoception. The spoken verb gives the external target. The right Fronto-Insular Cortex, RFIC, loves that stack because it has both inside and outside cues to toggle on. It's the same switch you learned earlier, but concentrated for a spike of anxiety or perfectionism. A few rules make these resets actually work. First, never negotiate them once you feel the slump. Pre-schedule them every 90 to 120 minutes. When the timer hits, you reset. If you wait until you feel like it, the narrator will bargain you into a feed. Second, no screens during any reset. Screens relight novelty and yank the toggle back toward simulation. Third, return to a single micro-intent you wrote before the reset. That way, you don't open your laptop into a blank choice and reignite the narrator. Now here's where most people mess up. They chase novelty instead of a state shift. New tab, new playlist, new snack. Novelty is a cheap hit that pings the Salience Network but doesn't give it a stable target, so you bounce harder. The reset isn't about stimulation, it's about lowering noise and sharpening the next cue. Also, stacking caffeine on top of fatigue just pushes arousal without clarity. If you drink coffee, do it after reset A, not as the reset. If you want a quick diagnostic, use this. If you're tab hopping and rereading the same line, you're in a dopamine drain. If you're doom problem solving your identity or the whole project in your head, that's the narrator exploiting the drain. Either way, you don't need a pep talk, you need a flip. Pick A, B, or C based on time and location, run it without debate, and drop into your per-written micro-intent. Let me show you exactly how this plays in a messy day. It's 1:30, you just came off a meeting that blew up your plan. You're irritated, you open Slack, then email, then back to Slack. Call it. Stand up, walk to a window, soft focus far for a minute, nasal breathe, cold splash. Back to desk, read your park note. Resume outline, write 3 bullets under section 2. Thumb index press, 1 longer exhale, say the verb, type the bullets. 30 seconds later, the fog lifts. That tiny unit is the bridge back to doer mode. And if anxiety spikes hard before a send or a call, go straight to reset C, 2 physiological sighs. Finger scan, say, open doc and write bad opener. You're not fixing your life, you're giving the Salience Network enough signal to pick a lane. Final tip, label the reset you'll use before each block. Write RA or RB on your timer. When the bell rings, you won't think, you'll run the play. That's how you keep the anti-correlation working for you all day. The 72-hour DMN quiet reset, systemic reboot. All right, let's run a 3-day reboot that lowers baseline rumination and makes your task positive on ramp reliable. The goal is simple. Quiet the narrator by default, strengthen that Salience Network toggle, and prove to yourself you can flip into doer mode on command. 3 days, clear plays, no heroics. Day 1 is clean slate capture. You're going to externalize every open loop that's keeping the default mode network spinning. Grab a blank doc or a stack of paper. Set a 20-minute timer. Brain dump everything. Tasks, worries, half ideas, bills, messages to send, repairs, vague shoulds. Don't organize, don't judge, just dump. When the timer ends, set another 10 minutes to scan old notes, inbox, tabs, anything holding a thought. Add only headlines, not details. The point is to move loops out of your head so the narrator can stand down. Then pick 1 tiny visible unit from the pile, 1 call to schedule, 1 file to rename, and do it using the breath and touch switch. That single action teaches your Salience Network. We capture, then we act, not we spin. Next, you're going to protect sleep. Go to bed 45 minutes earlier than usual, tonight only. I know life, do it anyway. Your brain's switching circuits hate sleep debt. Turn down screens 1 hour before bed, set the phone outside the room, and park a note that says tomorrow start line, 1 micro intent. That closes the loop your narrator loves to reopen at 2 in the morning. Day 2 is triage and deep blocks. You'll carve the mess into 3 today wins and kill pings. Start with 10 minutes to skim yesterday's capture and mark anything that's actually important this week. Then choose exactly 3 outcomes for today. Not 10, not 5, 3. Phrase each as a visible unit, not a project. Draft 3 bullets for section 1, send calendar link, sketch homepage wireframe. Everything else becomes later or not today. This is you training the floor manager to see what matters. Now you'll run 2 deep blocks. Block 1, 50 to 75 minutes. Block 2 later, same length. Before each block, do the 10-second switch, longer exhale, thumb index press, and say your micro intent out loud. Put your phone in another room. Close chat. Whitelist only what you need. Midway, run reset B or C, no screens. Between blocks, do something that signals safety. Stretch, water, quick walk. You're not cramming, you're stabilizing the anti-correlation. Doer up, narrator down, without yanking it around with novelty. Also, kill optional pings for the day. Turn off badge counts. Snooze channels. Put a polite autoresponder if needed. You're engineering the environment so the Salience Network reads safe, specific, self-directed. If you get sideswiped by an urgent ask, fine, park a note for where to resume, run a 90-second reset C, then do a single visible unit to relock the gate. Day 3 is calibrate and test under load. You'll formalize TPN switch ritual and see how it holds when things get noisy. First, quick review. What cues worked yesterday? Which micro-intents felt too big? Write your ritual on a sticky. Choice line, breath and touch, micro-intent, open doc, bad first pass. That's your play. Now choose a task that's slightly harder than yesterday's wins. Not a cliff, just a step higher. Before you start, write down 2 signals of drift you'll watch for. Mind starts future narrating. Tab hopping, rereading. Also write the exact reset you'll run if either shows up. Then test under load. If you can, add 1 mild distraction, door open, light background noise, or set a shorter deadline. You're training in real conditions. Start the block with the ritual. When drift shows up, and it will, don't negotiate. Run the reset, restate the micro intent, and complete 1 visible unit. That's the muscle. Fewer words, more switches. Across all 3 days, a few non-negotiables make this work. Morning light, get 2 to 5 minutes of outdoor light within an hour of waking, even if it's cloudy. Movement, 1 short bout per day, 10 minutes of walking is fine. Protein early, eat a real breakfast or add protein to whatever you do eat. Stable energy keeps the narrator from scavenging. And do the 90-second switch before every work block, even if you feel fine. Reps build speed. You want that right Fronto-Insular Cortex, RFIC, to recognize the pattern and flip fast. Track simple metrics so you see progress. Don't count hours, count rumination minutes and visible units. Each session, jot, start time, the unit you shipped, any drift, which reset you used, and how long it took to re-engage. Bonus points if you note your perceived flip time, the seconds from switch ritual to first keystroke. If it goes from 60 seconds today to 20 seconds by day 3, you're winning. You'll probably hit resistance on the morning of day 2. That's normal. The narrator will say, "This is dumb, just check email." Use the choice line, "I choose to test this for 72 hours because clarity beats churn." Then do 1 unit. The reboot isn't about perfect output, it's about building trust in the switch. Once you trust it, the pressure drops. And when the pressure drops, the narrator finally gets quiet enough for the doer to breathe. The 4-beat loop, daily TPN rhythm, process you can live with. So now let's make this something you can live with every day, not just when you're hyped. Think 4 beats you cycle, light and repeatable. Prime, produce, pulse, park. It's a loop your Salience Network learns to recognize, so the switch gets fast and boring in a good way. Beat 1 is prime. 5 to 10 minutes tops, you're not warming up, you're flipping the toggle cleanly. Sit down, breathe like we practiced, longer exhale than inhale twice. Do the thumb index press. Then speak 1 micro intent out loud. Open outline and write 3 bullets. Open the actual file. Put your eyes on the first line you'll touch. That's it. If you want a checklist, it's 3 PS, physiology, phrase, pointer. Physiology is the breath and posture, calm the noise. Phrase is the tiny verb, give the foreman a job. Pointer is eyes on target, lock sensation to object. 2 minutes total can do it. The trick is sameness. Same cues, same order. You're teaching that right Fronto-Insular Cortex, hey, this pattern means doer time. Beat 2 is produce. 50 to 75 minutes of narrow work. Pick 1 visible unit at a time, finish it, pick the next. Protect the edges like your focus depends on it because it does. Flight mode on, 1 window. If you need docs or references, stage them before you start. And count completions, not minutes. I literally tick units on paper, para, cut, fix, export. It sounds silly, but each tick is a tiny dopamine bump that stabilizes task-positive mode. If you hit a snag, don't spin. Write stuck on X, park it below, and pick the next micro unit you can do. You're not solving life, you're keeping momentum. If you remember nothing else here, remember this: the doer loves finished edges. Give it edges. Now here S where most people mess up mid-block. Something pings or a new idea pops up and they just check. That invites the narrator back in under the banner of being thorough. Don't. Instead, jot the idea in a capture line, then ask, what's my next tiny verb? And do that. Zero negotiation. The anti-correlation stays intact because you never open the social or novelty door. Beat 3 is pulse, 2 to 5 minutes. It's a reset, not a reward. No screens. Stand, eyes on a far point, soft focus for 30 to 60 seconds, one longer exhale, maybe a short walk. If you feel spun up, do the 90-second emergency you learned earlier. 2 physiological sighs, finger scan, speak a micro intent. Then note the next tiny verb for your return, literally 1 line. Resume, cut lines 3 to 5. That line is bold. It protects the handoff from the narrator. You come back to specifics, not a blank. Beat 4 is park, 3 to 5 minutes to close the loop. You write tomorrow's start line. Not a plan for the whole world, just the first micro intent, the file path, and any weird gotcha you'll forget. Example: tomorrow 9:05 open deck v3, fix slide 4 graph titles, bad first pass okay. If you can add 1 line of context for your future self, client only cares about clarity, not polish, do it. This is how you quiet the narrator after hours. It knows the meeting is booked. You're closing the gate on rumination before it starts. Run that loop 2 to 4 times in a day, depending on your energy and work type. Between loops, fine, do your admin or comms. Just keep the rule: production lives inside the loop. Everything else lives outside. Once you nail that, everything else clicks. Couple of pro moves to make this stick. First, label your beat on a sticky and move it. When you sit, slide to prime. When you start, flip to produce. When you stand, move to pulse. When you write the park note, move to park. It's dumb, and it works because it's external. Second, make a little unit bar on paper, draw 10 boxes, and shade 1 per completion. Watching it fill is weirdly satisfying and keeps you from chasing novelty. Weekly, add 1 long DMN walk, no podcast, no agenda for strategy. That's your draft room time. Think big, connect dots, daydream, but keep it out of production blocks. You're giving both networks their own lanes so they don't fight. Common mistakes: extending produce until you're fried. Don't. Stop while the doer is still clean so you don't crash into narration. Skipping park because you ran out of time. That's like leaving wet clay on the wheel. Tomorrow will be a mess. Over-engineering prime with 10 steps. Nope. Keep it tight so you'll actually do it. All right, now here's your quick start. Right after this, set a timer for 8 minutes. Prime, 2 breaths, thumb index press, say your verb, open the file. Produce, 5 minutes, ship 1 visible unit. Pulse, stand, soft focus, 1 long exhale. Park, write tomorrow's start line. 1 mini loop. Feel how clean that is? That's your daily rhythm. Repeat it until it's boring. Then it's working. Focus contagion. Environment, people, and inputs. Context engineering. So far, we've tuned your inner switch. Now make your world help you flip it. Attention states are contagious. You mirror whatever's around you: pace of speech, posture, even tab habits. If your space screams options, the narrator wakes up. If it whispers one thing, your Salience Network reads safe and specific and sends power to the doer. Let's engineer that. Start with visual friction. Your eyes drive attention gating, so anything in view that suggests choice is DMN bait. Clear your desk down to the tool of the current block, 1 notebook or 1 app window. Put everything else outside your phobia. That means no stacked papers, no open laptop if you're writing on paper, no extra monitor unless it's required for this unit. 1 screen, 1 task, dock or hide the dock. Full screen the active app. You're reducing crosstalk before it starts. Audio next. Speech pulls semantics, which tempts narration. If you want sound, go for low information loops, brown noise, light instrumental, or nothing. Save podcasts and vocals for walks. You're telling your brain, no new words, just the ones I'm making. Lighting and sightlines. Face a blank wall or a clean view, not a hallway of movement. Movement equals salience equals check reflex. If you must face movement, widen the distance, eyes on a far anchor outside. That soft, Far gaze down regulates hypervigilance and gives you a calmer baseline to flip from. Now tools. Design frictions that block novelty and smooth the path to your unit. Add one-click barriers to feeds. Log out, uninstall mobile apps for social, or use site blockers with a 5-minute delay. Whitelist only the handful of sites you need for work, not maybe useful later. Create workspaces or profiles per project so the open tabs you see are the ones tied to this task. And set app windows to snap into the same spots every session. Consistency becomes a cue. Your right Fronto-Insular cortex recognizes the pattern and toggles faster. Keyboard shortcuts beat mouse wandering. Pin the 2 or 3 actions that matter to your unit: new doc, comment, compile, run cell. Fewer micro choices, fewer narrator entries, and turn off non-critical badges. Little red dots are mini salience grenades. People, your social world either protects edges or pokes holes in them. Use focus signals. Wear the same headphones during produce blocks even if no music's on. Put a small desk flag or light that says focus hour, ping after, and agree on the rule with your team. If you're at home, set talk windows. From 9 to 11 I'm heads down, catch me after. Not perfect, but you're shaping norms. If you cowork, pick partners who like long, quiet blocks. You will sync states. Co-working cues help more than motivation speeches. Try a 2-line check-in, micro intent plus timer. You DM a buddy, 50 min, write 3 bullets, hit start together and go dark. At the bell, you just send shipped 3. No chatter mid-block. The tiny accountability tap keeps you from inviting the narrator with status talk. No ping zones, close chat and email during produce. If that feels impossible, give your nervous system safety by setting emergency paths. 1. Status message focus block, call my phone for urgent. 2. Calendar blocks visible to the team. 3. An agreement on what counts as urgent. Ambiguity breeds narration, clarity calms it. Inputs. Morning internet is the most expensive habit you can keep if you want deep work. Until you finish your first prime produce pulse park loop, no feeds, no inbox. You're protecting that anti-correlation window where the doer can dominate. If you need references, pre-stage them the day before during park. Use an input diet. Decide your heavy inputs, long-form, research, and your light ones, news, social. Heavy goes in set slots after a ship. Light goes on a walk or in rest windows, not before production. And capture interesting bits to a later list, don't read them now. You're containing the draft room. Common mistakes. Aesthetic tweaks with 0 friction change. Nice lamp, same 12 tabs. Looks focused, still noisy. Fix, add blockers and whitelist, move the phone. Second, friends who text bomb you quick questions. Fix, set ask windows and use shared docs for non-urgent asks. Third, leaving work tools within glance at night. Your narrator sees the cue and spins. Fix, cover or close and leave a park note that tells it, we're good, meeting set. Quick setup you can do today. 1. Build a clean scene. Remove every object not needed for the next unit. 2. Set your app to full screen, hide the dock, pin only the working files. 3. Install a 5-minute gate on news and socials, whitelist only today's resources. 4. Put your phone in another room during produce. Set your status with an urgent call exception. 5. Script 1 shared focus hour with a friend. Start at 10, 55 minutes, ship 1 visible unit. You'll feel the difference within 1 block. Less buzzing, fewer reflex checks, faster on ramp. Not because you grew discipline overnight, but because your environment stopped feeding the narrator and started feeding the switch. That's the whole point. Make the doer easy to choose. Identity, shame, and the narrator belief upgrade. So let's hit the identity layer because this is where the narrator gets its teeth. The narrator loves labels. I'm a procrastinator. I'm not a morning person. I can't focus unless I'm inspired. Those sound like facts, but they're just stories your default mode network repeats to keep you safe. Safe from risk, safe from judgment, safe from a bad first pass. Shame is the fuel here. It whispers, don't start. Starting proves you're not good. And the Salience Network hears that as threat, so it keeps you in simulation, not action. The thing most people miss is that identity statements are environment signals to your biology. I have to reads like punishment. I always mess this up reads like danger. Your right Fronto-Insular cortex is scanning that inner tone and routing you accordingly. Harsh tone, it toggles you toward the narrator to prepare defenses. Calm, self-directed tone, it toggles you toward the doer to take a small, clear step. Same task, different identity cue, totally different state. So we swap the scripts, ban I have to. Replace it with I choose to because, yeah, I know it sounds corny, try it anyway. I choose to draft a bad opener because done buys freedom later. That single line does 3 things. It restores autonomy, which drops the threat meter. It normalizes imperfection, which protects competence. And it gives a concrete why, which the Salience Network uses as context to flip the switch. You feel your shoulders drop a little? Good. That drop is the on-ramp. Next, build an identity that your nervous system can actually believe. Not I'm a productivity machine. That's brittle. Go with I'm the kind of person who starts small and ships. Starts, small, ships. Each word is a cue. Starts means action over rumination. Small means MVM, minimum viable momentum, so ego risk stays low. Ships means visible units, not endless polish. You can act like that today, even if your narrator is rolling its eyes. Language rules keep this stable. Use verbs you control. Open, type, sketch, send draft, cut lines. Avoid results you can't control right now. Make it perfect. Blow them away. Change my life are DMN catnip. They push you into future simulation and invite shame when reality is just normal. Keep it boring on purpose. And we celebrate the right things. Most of us only celebrate big outcomes, which are rare and late. That starves your dopamine system day to day and gives the narrator more room to judge. Flip it. Celebrate starts and completions of tiny units. I literally say, shipped 1, and mark a tick. Track streaks of starts, not streaks hours. 10 minutes that ships beats 2 hours of narration every time. Let me give you a quick micro story because this is where it clicked for me. A student I coach kept saying, I'm a perfectionist, I freeze on intros. We changed 2 lines. Before each block, I choose to write a bad first line because speed buys clarity. And we set a target. 1 ugly opener, then stop. Day 1, they wrote a hilariously bad sentence and stopped. That night, they didn't spiral because the park note said, tomorrow, fix opener tone. Day 2, they fixed it in 3 minutes and wrote the next paragraph. The difference wasn't talent. It was identity plus safety cues that let the Salience Network flip out of rumination. Now here's where most people mess up this identity work. They try to bully the narrator with affirmations it can't believe. I love hard work. You don't, lol, your body knows, or they turn shame into motivation. Don't be lazy. That's gasoline on the narrator. Shame is a social alarm. It screams, we're not safe, and the toggle stays in simulation to protect you from exposure. So we use clarity and compassion instead. I'm learning to start small. Bad first pass is allowed. These are accurate and safe. A few practical moves to make this stick. 1. Write 3 identity tags on a sticky near your monitor. I'm the kind of person who starts small and ships. I choose to because. Bad first pass buys speed. 2. Keep a wins log. End each day with 3 lines. Started X, shipped Y, kept 1 promise to myself. Z, that's not fluff, it's training data. Your brain updates models based on repeated evidence. Show it starts and ships, and your narrator will slowly stop predicting failure. 3. Set a rule for the voice you'll use with yourself. If you wouldn't say it to a friend who's trying, you don't say it to you. Replace "this is trash" with "not there yet," cut 3 lines. Replace "I'm behind" with "next visible unit is," precision over poison. Same honesty, 0 shame. And tie this to the switch you already know. Identity is the pre-cue. I choose to because, then breath and touch, speak the micro-intent, and touch the file. That stack says, self-directed, safe, specific, which the right Fronto-Insular cortex reads as green light. You'll feel the narrator deflate, not disappear, just quiet, because it's got nothing urgent to protect you from. Last thing, forgiveness is a strategy, not a slogan. You'll blow a block, you'll scroll. Cool. Park a note, run reset C, and do 1 visible unit. Then say, I'm the kind of person who returns fast. That's the identity that survives bad days. That's how you keep momentum when the narrator wants a spiral. Edge cases: anxiety, perfectionism, and overplanning, troubleshooting. Now let's handle the tricky edges that yank you back into narration: anxiety spikes, perfectionism traps, and overplanning spirals. Each one pokes the same switch, your Salience Network, and nudges it toward simulate instead of do. So we'll give it better signals. Anxiety first. When anxiety rises, your body flags threat. The right Fronto-Insular cortex sees that and keeps you in the narrator to predict and protect. So we change the internal signal before we touch the task. Do this exact 3-step, longer exhales, 30-second grounding, smallest next verb. 2 physiological size, inhale, tiny top up, long exhale, drop arousal. Then ground for 30 seconds, feet flat, eyes on a single point, press thumb to index and feel the texture. Finally, speak a tiny, concrete verb. Open doc and write one bad line. You're stacking interruption plus specificity so the toggle reads safe and clear. If your mind protests, don't argue, repeat the cycle once and do only the one line. Stopping is allowed. The win is flipping out of simulation into motion. Common anxiety mistakes. 1. Trying to fix the whole project in your head before starting. That's pure DMN fuel. 2. Self-threat language. Don't screw this up. That ramps social danger and locks the narrator on. Swap it. Bad first pass buys speed, then breathe, press one verb. Tiny, boring, done. Perfectionism next. Perfectionism is just fear of judgment wearing a nice outfit. It whispers, don't start until it's right. Your move is to make bad the target so action is success. Set a bad first pass contract for the block. Literally right at the top. Goal, ugly draft in 10 minutes. Timebox it. Use a checklist so your brain has rails. 1. Write terrible opener. 2. List 3 bullet points that support it. 3. Delete 1 sentence that repeats. That's it. The Salience Network loves checklists because they're concrete. When the urge to polish shows up, park it. Polish later, after Unit 3, then finish the checklist. Let me show you exactly how to avoid the polish trap mid-block. Keep a 2-column scratch. Left is output, right is fix later. Anytime you spot a flaw, jot it on the right and keep typing on the left. You're telling your system, we saw it, we'll come back. The narrator calms because the concern is contained, and the doer keeps its hands on the tool. If you remember nothing else about perfectionism, remember this. Outcomes get good because you finish bad versions fast. That's the only road. Make finishing ugly a visible unit you can celebrate today. Over planning, here's the pattern. You feel unsure, so you plan longer to feel safe. 15 minutes later, you're deep in hypotheticals and your doer never starts. Planning is useful. Over-planning is DMN cosplay. Cap it. Set a 10-minute planning window with a timer you can see. Use this template every time. Why this matters in 1 line, constraints in 3 bullets, first 2 visible units, 1 risk with a then do X response. When the timer ends, you must ship 1 unit before any more planning. Non-negotiable. It's the plan then act, handshake your Salience Network learns to trust. Actually, to make this easier, separate planning from producing on your calendar. Plan after you ship, not before, whenever possible. That way you enter planning with fresh context and less fear. And don't plan alone forever. If you're stuck, grab a 5-minute rubber duck. Explain the plan out loud to a person or a voice note, then write the tiniest next verb and run the switch. Edge case stack, anxiety plus perfectionism plus overplanning in 1 ugly moment. It's 5 minutes before ascend, your chest is tight, you want to rewrite the world, and you open a new outline file. Stop. 2 physiological size. Thumb index press, eyes on 1 point, 30 seconds. Say, paste draft into email, write 2-line cover. Start a 2-minute timer. Paste, write, stop. Now run a 60-second review using a micro checklist. Names right, link works, tone neutral. Send or schedule. Park a note. Tomorrow, expand section 2. You just rooted through the storm without giving the narrator the wheel. If you're underslept, shorten everything. Make produce blocks 25 to 40 minutes. Keep the switch ritual, keep the visible unit, drop your standards for volume. You're telling your nervous system, we still start small and ship, even on low battery. That consistency is what trains a fast toggle. Tech swirl, go single device. If you're coding, code. If you're writing, write. Paper capture for any idea not tied to the current unit. Batch comms at set times. Each constraint is a kindness to the doer. Last move, pre-commit your rescue. At the top of the day, write your emergency line. If stuck, I will do reset C and ship 1 bad line. When you hit the wall, read it and run it. 0 debate. That's how you keep switches clean when narrator is loud. Minimum viable momentum. Make stuck impossible, execution engine. Okay, so here's the engine that makes stuck basically impossible. Define success for each block as start plus 1 visible unit. Not a feeling, not made progress. A visible unit you can point at. This protects task positive dominance because it turns every session into action first, reflection later. The doer loves closure. Give it fast closure and it keeps the gate shut. What counts as a visible unit? Build a simple unit library you can reuse everywhere. Writing, 1 paragraph, 3 bullets, 1 bad opener, 1 cut of 3 lines. Design, 1 slide, 1 wireframe box, 1 icon pass. Coding, 5 lines, 1 function stub, 1 passing test. Research, 1 highlight card, 1 source skimmed and summarized in 3 bullets. Sales, 1 outreach draft, 1 follow-up sent. Teaching, 1 example scripted, 1 slide clarified. Tiny, concrete done. The ramp technique makes this automatic. 30 seconds prep, 2 minutes do, decide next unit. 30 seconds, breathe once, thumb index press, open the file, speak the micro intent. 2 minutes, do only the smallest unit. Then decide the next visible unit and either keep rolling or stop on purpose. That decide step matters. It creates a clean edge and hands your future self an easy on ramp. You lower friction today and tomorrow. Let me show you exactly how this looks on a normal task. You need a report intro. Ramp, open doc, write 1 bad opener. 2 minutes later, you've got a sketchy sentence. Decide. Next unit, 3 support bullets. You set a 5-minute timer, write the bullets, stop. Park, tomorrow 9:05, fix tone, keep structure. That's 2 units shipped and a start line banked. No heroics, 0 rumination. Now here's where most people mess up. They define success as hours. Raw hours invite narration. Was that enough? Did I waste time? Units end the debate. You either shipped a paragraph or you didn't. Also, they set units that are actually mini projects. Finish intro section perfectly. That's not a unit, that's 3 or 4. Split it, opener, bullets, transition, quick cut. Smaller units mean lower ego risk, faster dopamine hits, steadier doer control. Win accounting keeps you honest. Track visible units per day, not minutes. I keep a tiny grid on paper, 10 boxes. Each unit shades a box. Watching it fill gives you a steady trickle of reward that stabilizes attention. And here's the twist, end by cueing an easy next unit. Leave a breadcrumb so future you wants to start. Tomorrow, cut lines 2 to 4. You'll feel a light pull to return, which is exactly what we want, anticipation that works for you. If you remember nothing else, remember this phrase, small, seen soon. Small is the size, make units bite-sized. Seen means it's objectively visible, not a vibe. Soon means the next unit is pre-picked so you re-enter fast. Small, seen, soon keeps the Salience Network reading safe and specific, so it keeps flipping you to the doer. Edge checks. If a unit keeps stretching past 10 to 15 minutes, you didn't scope it small enough. Pause, breathe, thumb index press, and split it into 2. If you're avoiding even the tiny unit, add more safety. Bad first pass only, 10-minute timer, no sending. If you're blasting through units but quality tanks, add a micro review unit. 60-second read for clarity, separate from producing. Units can be output or review, they just need to be concrete. A quick micro story because this lands in real life. A teammate had finished deck stuck for a week. We swapped it for a unit string, paste outline, write 3 bullets slide 2, drop placeholder chart on slide 4, cut jargon on slide 3. First session, they shipped 3 units in 12 minutes. Momentum hit and the rest followed. The difference wasn't motivation. It was units that made doing safer than thinking. Now tie this back to your switch. Every unit starts with the same cues: longer exhale, tactile press, micro intent spoken. That sameness teaches your right Fronto-Insular cortex to flip faster. Unit done, mark it. Speak, shipped 1. Tiny celebration cements the pattern. Common mistakes to avoid today. Mixing units and inbox. Don't ship a unit and immediately open email. That rewards context switching. Instead, queue the next unit, then choose to break. Second, hiding units inside tools. If your unit is fix slide title, write that line where you'll see it when the file opens. Third, letting one hard unit poison the block. If it stalls, split it or swap to a parallel easy unit to keep momentum. Quick win right now? Open your current project. Write 3 units you could ship in under 10 minutes each. Pick the easiest. Breath and touch. Do it. Shade 1 box. Queue the next unit. Walk away. That tiny loop is the engine. You just prove to your brain that action is safer than narration. Keep doing that, and stuck doesn't have a place to land. Entering flow without forcing it. Flow is byproduct. So here's the truth about flow. You don't chase it, you set the stage and let it show up. Flow tends to appear when the challenge matches your current skill, and your attention is narrow and stable. That's your task positive network holding steady while the Salience Network keeps the toggle locked because everything reads safe and specific. If you try to force it, more hype, more pressure, you usually spook the system and the narrator jumps back in. The ladder goes like this. First, you build reliable TPN entry with the same switch cues every time. Then you rack up visible units, small, seen, soon, until your brain trusts the pattern. Once that stability is there, you can stretch sessions organically. Not because you decided to grind, but because momentum carries you. Your job is to keep the edges clean so you don't crash out and feed the narrator. What does flow feel like when it's starting? Time starts to slip a bit. Self-talk fades. You catch yourself inside the work, not thinking about doing the work. That's the narrator dialing down while the doer handles the lane. The trick most people miss is to protect boundary conditions so you don't rip the hand off the dimmer. Keep novelty out. Keep social evaluation out. Keep the next unit tiny even if you're moving fast. Let me show you exactly how to cue it without forcing it. Start with your same switch. Longer exhale, thumb index press, speak the micro intent. Then pick a unit that's well within your skill, like 3 bullets or 5 lines. Finish it and mark it. Now increase challenge 1 notch, maybe a paragraph or a small refactor, still well scoped. If that also lands smooth, extend the session by 10 to 15 minutes, not an hour. Flow is more likely to show when your nervous system believes, we can stop anytime. Paradoxically, that permission makes you want to keep going. Feedback speed matters. Flow likes tight loops, so engineer quick signals that what you're doing is working. Writers, preview the paragraph and look for one clean sentence. Coders, run the test and watch it pass. Designers, toggle before-after on a slide element. Each micro confirmation stabilizes TPN and keeps the Salience Network reading on track. If you're flying blind for too long, your narrator will panic and yank you to sim. Now here's where most people mess up. They notice the good feeling and decide to go all day. Then they blow past their energy and crash hard, and the narrator writes a story about how flow is rare and fickle. Don't do that. Keep edges. Use a soft stop when your timer hits, finish the current sentence or line, park a specific start line. Resume, cut lines 3 to 5, and take a short pulse. If the pull is strong, re-enter with 1 breath, 1 press, 1 tiny verb. Edges protect tomorrow. Another mistake, chasing novelty as a flow hack. New music, new space, new tool, new coffee, every block. Novelty can help you start, but too much novelty makes the Salience Network keep scanning, which destabilizes attention. Aim for boring rituals and small variations. Same cues, same order, same app layout, maybe a different mug. Predictability is not dull here, it's rocket fuel. And don't confuse arousal with flow. Loud playlists, triple espresso, sweaty speed, those can feel intense, but intensity alone doesn't equal the state we're after. We want calm clarity, not frantic output. If you feel buzzy, lengthen your exhale for 2 cycles, soften your gaze, and shrink the next unit. Bring the dial down and the lock will often return. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Flow is a byproduct of stable switching, clean scope, and fast feedback. It's not magic. It's your brain doing what it does when you stop sending mixed signals. Make the doer easy to choose. Keep the narrator scheduled for its own time, your DMN walk, your park note planning, never inside produce. A quick micro story so you can picture it. A client editing a video used to chase flow with long, hype sessions and crashed every time. We flipped it. Same switch ritual, 10-minute safe start, unit of rough cut 3 clips, visible tick. Then a slight stretch to add transitions on 2 cuts, test playback for 10 seconds tick. 15 minutes in, they noticed the hum, no self-talk, just trims. They still kept edges, soft stop, park note, short pulse, re-enter. Session ran 90 minutes with no crash. The difference wasn't inspiration. It was stable cues, scoped units, and feedback that told the Salience Network, stay here. Last move, end while you still want a little more. Write a crisp park note with the very next micro intent, file path, and any gotcha. That leaves fuel in the tank and creates pull for tomorrow. Flow gets easier to find when your system trusts that you won't drain it dry every time. The weekly operating system, sustain without burnout. Let's zoom out and make this sustainable. You don't need a perfect week, you need a repeatable week. Think simple lanes, 2 deep days, 2 mixed days, 1 light admin, and 2 true rest blocks. This pattern lowers rumination, protects your best hours, and gives your Salience Network a calendar that screams, safe, specific, self-directed. Deep days first. Pick your highest energy days, often Monday and Tuesday or Tuesday and Thursday. Block 2 long prime produce pulse park loops in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. No meetings in those windows. Your only job is visible units on your top bets. Use the same switch ritual every block so your right Fronto-Insular cortex recognizes it instantly. If someone tries to book over it, decline with a can line. Focus block for delivery, available after 2. Clarity beats guilt. Mixed days handle reality. Meetings, collaboration, comms fine, still protect one morning loop. That's your anchor so you don't drift into all talk, no ship. Before meetings, write a micro intent for the first 3 minutes after each one. Capture decisions, or write 2 bullets for next step. That tiny handoff keeps the anti-correlation working. You re-enter doer mode fast. Admin day is light by design. You're clearing the pipes. Inbox zero-ish, bills, filing, tiny fixes. Run short loops here too, 25 to 40 minutes with micro intents like archive 5 newsletters. Pay 2 invoices, rename 3 files. Ship little closures, rack easy wins, don't pretend this is deep work. Save your brain for the deep days. Now, real rest. 2 true rest blocks each week, not sort of work while pretending to rest. Put your tools away, cover the laptop, leave a park note Friday that names Monday's start line so your narrator can relax. Then do things that quiet rumination, long walk with no podcast, cooking, time with people, hobbies with your hands. You're telling your nervous system, no evaluation, no novelty chase. Safe. That refill is what makes the switch snappy on Monday. Run a weekly review in under 40 minutes. Set a visible timer. Phase 1, capture. 5 to 10 minutes brain dump, loose ends, ideas, weights. Phase 2, clear, close loops or park them, decide, delete, delegate. Phase 3, choose, pick the next 3 bets for the week. Phrase each as outcomes that can be proven with visible units. Example, ship draft of section 3 equals 3 paragraphs plus 1 quick cut. Phase 4, calendar. Place the big units into deep days, smaller ones into mixed, admin into Friday. Don't stuff, leave margin. Phase 5, check the switch. Ask, are my cues still fast? If flip time crept up, tighten your ritual, fewer steps, same order, pre-stage files. Energy anchors make this whole loop hold. Sleep. Aim for consistent bed and wake windows 5 nights out of 7. Movement. 3 short bouts across the week beat 1 heroic session. Food. Protein and fiber early. Low blood sugar invites narration. Light. 2 to 5 minutes of outdoor light most mornings, cloud or sun. None of this needs to be perfect. It just needs to be regular enough that your baseline noise is lower. Relationships matter here. Set talk windows at home and at work. Check-ins at 11:30 and 4, for example. Agree on focus hours where pings pause unless it's a true emergency. Define true emergency. That single conversation protects dozens of hours of doer time. Track your own retention, not as punishment, as feedback. I keep a simple sheet. Columns for date, loops run, units shipped, average flip time, drift count, reset used, mood. You'll spot patterns fast. Maybe Wednesdays run hot, so make Wednesday a mixed day. Maybe afternoons crash, so move deep blocks earlier. Adjust beats, not goals. One more advanced move, a weekly DMN walk. 40 to 60 minutes, no inputs. Bring a single question. What's the real constraint on Project X? Let your narrator wander in its lane. Capture 2 to 3 insights at the end, then park them for your review. You're respecting both networks. Draft room has a scheduled home. Factory floor stays clean the rest of the week. If you remember nothing else, remember lanes. Deep lives on deep days, shallow on admin day, chatter on mixed days, and recovery on rest blocks. Keep edges. Keep cues the same. Your week becomes a metronome your brain trusts, and when your brain trusts, the narrator quiets. Here's your move today. Pick one hard task and write, I choose to because, name one visible unit. Run the 10-second switch, longer exhale, thumb index press, say the micro intent out loud, and ship just that unit. Park a start line for tomorrow. Picture a week where sessions start easy, stretch longer, and end clean. The anti-correlation works for you. Your Salience Network flips fast. Next, watch the mental cache video to double your deep blocks and see the Biswell and Rachel story that made this practical. The single takeaway: you didn't beat distraction. You learned to switch modes on command with simple cues, tiny units, and clean edges. Run the 72-hour reset, then try the weekly system for 2 weeks. Track visible units and flip time, no self-judgment. Comment your I choose to because for tomorrow's start line and queue up the mental cache episode next. End here, go ship one small unit right now.